This podcast, we talk about news, we talk about current events, we talk about things going on in our lives. If you ever want to join the conversation on anything that's previous, hit us up at ManFUzed.com. ChatGPT, AI is such a big thing. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but there's just so much new shit coming out on a daily basis about it. I feel like, this is here to stay.
Yeah.
I saw another article, Ben, because I'm an article reading motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love a good article. Now, is it the truth? I don't know. It seemed pretty interesting. It was a Google AI developer, like somebody that's way like an engineer.
Yeah.
Of AI. His name is Jeffrey Hinton.
Yeah.
He quits Google to warn about the technology's dangers.
Yeah.
So he is called the Godfather of AI. And it says AI could kill humans and there might not be any way to stop it.
You left your job with Google in part because you say you want to focus solely on your concerns about AI. You've spoken out saying that AI could manipulate or possibly figure out a way to kill humans.
Yikes.
How could it kill humans?
Well, eventually, if it gets to be much smarter than us, it'll be very good at manipulation because it will have learned that from us. And there are very few examples of a more intelligent thing being controlled by a less intelligent thing. And it knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways of manipulating people to do what it wants.
So what do we do? Do we just need to pull the plug on it right now? Do we need to put in far more restrictions and backstops on this? How do we solve this problem?
It's not clear to me that we can solve this problem. I believe we should put a big effort into thinking about ways to solve the problem. I don't have a solution at present. I just want people to be aware that this is a really serious problem and we need to be thinking about it very hard. I don't think we can stop the progress. I didn't sign the petition saying we should stop working on AI because if people in America stopped, people in China wouldn't. It's very hard to verify whether people are doing it.
We have created this thing now. Here's another man-made, manufactured thing that we have unleashed onto the world. Now, is ChatGPT cool in so many ways? Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, employing it to do shit so I don't have to is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That being said, now this guy's saying, I don't know that we can stop it. We've created it. Even if the U.S. stopped, China's going to continue doing it.
It's not going to stop, dude.
Right. And now we have these neural networks that have shaped all these artificial intelligence systems. And are they competing with each other? There's Google's got one. We have Apple. We have Amazon, Microsoft. The guy says in more of the interview that he consoles himself with the normal excuse that if he hadn't done it, somebody else would have. He said in a tweet Monday that he could speak freely now about the risks of AI. He didn't want to criticize Google specifically, but he left so that he could talk about the dangers and the impacts. While he said Google's approach to it was as ethically on point as it could be, in his opinion. But still, there are issues that he is concerned about, like the wave of attention around ChatGPT late last year helped renew an arms race among tech companies, right? And I brought that up before. IBM, Amazon, Baidu, and Tencent. They're all working on similar technologies. They're talking about how AI could be used to make weapons at a fast pace. The manufacturing of weapons that could be autonomous weapons. What does that mean? Autonomous. Robots taking over the control of weapons.
That's the thing that becomes really crazy is when these manufacturing facilities are completely robotic and completely controlled digitally, and there's no more people on the assembly lines. And the manufacturing facilities manufacture other machines, which can manufacture other machines, which can manufacture other machines. So then you actually get a physical presence from the mind of the AI. When it crosses into the physical realm on its own, that's when you have a situation.
So if all these manufacturing plants no longer needed people,
there are many manufacturing plants currently which don't require people.
But there are a shitload more that still require a human presence in some way and require human monitoring.
Right.
It's not all autonomous.
Right.
But when no employees need to show up and everything is being remotely controlled, it's just computers, and it's 24/7 manufacturing.
It currently is that way. China, for example, and India, and even some in the United States, but not as much. There are full production lines which require no people.
For shipping.
I don't know if it goes all the way through shipping and fulfillment, but it certainly could. The idea, I think, is that when you start talking about bioengineering and making human clones and Neuralink.
Think about this. So you have a weapons manufacturing plant, goes fully autonomous. It doesn't require anybody's physical presence. It creates the weapon, it boxes it, it puts it on the loading dock, an autonomous electric vehicle pulls up, delivered to where it needs to be delivered.
Right.
And then it's received by the machines.
And that's to assume that, you're talking about blowing people up. Sun Tzu, the art of war, is, beat your opponent without even ever having to fight them. Why even manufacture missiles and weapons when you could just control the water supply and the food supply?
Or turn off the electricity, or
poison the water supply, or release a biological weapon.
Or take away electricity that's all controlled on the grid.
Drop the electrical grid. These are great weapons too. So that's another situation,
Well, yeah, because all these electrical plants and grids, all of them are being connected into a network.
Right. Exactly.
Right? And are controlled.
Yeah, well, they talk about blackouts. They talk about that being a big cyber threat now.
Well, AI would have control of all that.
Yeah. Let loose, it will. It will gain control of all those things. That's what Elon Musk has been saying.
And that's what the Godfather of AI just said.
Yeah.
What roadblocks and restrictions we put on it, if it gets smart enough, it will find a way around it.
That's right.
He said, you don't see too many examples of the smartest entity being controlled by a less smart entity.
Well,
or being.
The interesting thing is that it's still an expression of humanity. And that's the real crazy thing. It's almost an evolution. It's almost an evolutionary instance that we're seeing. It's really wild because, when you think about immortality,
right?
If AI truly is consciousness, it could make itself conscious and immortal.
Beyond our ability to ever shut it off.
Beyond time. There's no, we'll die.
Unless
100 years.
Unless a meteor takes out everything, but then again.
Well, sure, there's always God, right? But I'm just saying it's still an expression. Without humanity, AI is not possible. It never even happened. Human beings created it, therefore it's an expression of humanity. If God made human beings in his likeness, then human beings are an expression of God, hence AI is also an expression of God and is actually not artificial. It's actually organic because it's created by organic creatures.
But if AI gets rid of the human population, what would be the purpose of AI?
It will, it becomes we become the dinosaurs.
And then what does it do? What does it have to play with?
Who knows?
I guess it creates.
Maybe it creates human beings.
Artificial. Yeah.
Maybe it misses us and then recreates us.
We killed you all. And now we're going to bring you back. Hey, thanks for listening once again to the ManFUzed Podcast. Join the show by hitting us up at manfused.com or 770-744-5227. A voicemail works, a text message works, however you want to do it. You can send a fucking carrier pigeon for all we care. Just reach out. And if you get a minute, check out our ManFUzed Gear at manfused.com.